Okay, back. We got Sean King 2020. Wow. Coming in hot. We got 2,200 people watching. I think they go to 10,000 on average. The name of the video? Suspects named in Jasmine Barnes' death. Lead story. You tried to get his critics assassinated by doxing them. What the fuck? Welcome to my life. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's incredible shit. Wait, that's crazy bad. Hold on. You really hear my fan like that? How could that be true? Audio. Default disabled. Disabled. Mic. Yeah. Hello? Check. Is that... Do you still... Shit. Hear my fan. Rubbish. How about now? You still hear my fan? And echo. Hold on. Hello? Check. Is that... I think that's better, no? I got it. I sorted it out. Don't even front. Now, let's invade this chat. So you're going to want to be on this website. Website is a old school way of saying YouTube channel. What's up, Jamie? What's up, Alf? What's up, Marina? We are going live. 3:59. You're in business. The iguana being pet. I'm eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. I have a belly full of food. Still waiting for my plane. I shall dislike this video. I hope you've put your predictions in, because the moment of truth is upon us. And I'm going to call it like I see it. I don't expect to be right on all my predictions. I will, if I'm wrong, I'll say why I'm wrong. I'll give them credit if they if they handle this well. Again, I just call things as I see them. So knowing who they are, I wouldn't be surprised if they completely shit the bed. But AIU, there you go. But you always have hope, and it depends on who it is too. So the predictions will vary depending on. Yeah, we didn't get that specific, but Gank versus Anna versus Ayatollah versus Predator. Here we go. I wonder if they were tipped off on my video. I wonder if they do a word pun on the title.
All right, welcome to the Young Turks. A whole new week ahead, everybody. Nothing but fun for everyone, except for everyone who's furloughed by the federal government and by the disastrous policies of the Trump administration.
So
fine, yeah, it won't be a good week, but you see my point, right?
We'll adjust.
Funny is that?
Yeah. So on today's show, Ocasio-Cortez was attacked so fervently by so many different people, we will not be able to track all of them.
Oh, no,
only a couple.
Tax cuts.
Okay, well, one that is hilarious from a Republican. And later in the program, you're going to be shocked to find out Bernie Sanders is attacked, and we will defend him again. It's his hometown paper, and they might have had the most absurd op-ed of all of them, right? And their charges against them are both maddening and hilarious at the same time. I mean, they're so blind.
He says hilarious like Alf does.
The establishment buys through almost everything that the media.
Why is it doing this?
But we'll break that down for you guys, and there'll be plenty of critiques of Mr. Trump as well.
Lies.
Senor Trump. Okay, all right, so lots to get to. Let's do it.
All right.
Headline, go Anna, go.
Prosecutors in Texas have identified 2 suspects in
white or
the
black?
drive-by shooting of a 7-year-old Jasmine Barnes. She unfortunately did not survive the shooting, and there was a huge question as to what the motive was, who the suspect was. Turns out that there are 2 suspects, and even though the family
Say the word black.
believed that they had witnessed a white man as the suspect,
Super
and there were
chat,
also
AIU.
4 other witnesses who had said the same thing. Prosecutors said that that was not the actual suspect. It was a case of mistaken identity. So who are the suspects? Well, according to the prosecutors, one of those suspects is Eric Black Jr. There he is, arrested, and he does not match the witness
He doesn't match it. No, he
photo at all.
Nope.
So let's look at the witness
Why not, Anna?
illustration
Why not?
of what the alleged suspect looked like. And it's a side-by-side of that photo, or that drawing, I should say, with Eric Black Jr. Okay, so there it is.
No, it is. None of that matters.
Yeah.
The original guy that they had in the red trunk, it was just wrong. It wasn't him. So let me explain that in greater detail and then tell you who broke the case. Well, I'll tell you that right now. It was Sean King. So I'll give you the details on that in a second as well. So first of all, as Anna pointed out, everybody originally thinks it's the white guy in his 40s in the red truck. Why? The family, when they recovered for half a second from the shooting and looked up, saw the red truck going away, and they thought it was him. And they weren't alone. As Anna pointed out, four other witnesses said it was the white guy in the red truck.
No,
okay?
they said they saw a red truck.
How did they find out that it
that's
wasn't?
bullshit. It's a
Because
lie.
in fact, one of the witnesses tailed the guy in the red truck. I mean, that's how positive the other people on the road were that it was the guy in the red truck. Now, the way that they got to the truth was Sean King, who was an activist,
Forwarded an email.
put out a reward to find the guy who did it. It started at $35,000, then it went to $50,000, then it went to $100,000,
By the way,
and finally they got a tip.
they think
and
this
it
is
went
a
to
drug
Sean
deal.
King, and then Sean King brought it to the police. Turns out it wasn't the guy in the red truck at all. It was a different car, and everybody was so shaken by what happened, they didn't realize which car it was.
Gangsters,
Now, how
Jake.
did they know that
Black
it was Eric
gangsters.
Black Jr. and
Because they admitted to it.
he's the driver and the guy who actually did the shooting? Well, because Eric Black Jr. has not only confessed it, but said, yeah, I didn't do the shooting. The guy next to me did the shooting. And by the way, you could find the gun in my apartment, and I give you permission to search the apartment. They went and searched the apartment, and they found the gun.
We already
that
know
matches
this.
the Sean King
Get to your
case.
analysis.
It's definitely Eric Black Jr. As far as we can tell, they got to go through trial, of course, etc. So it was, and it turns out they had the wrong car. They thought they were shooting at a rival gang or something along those lines, and they shot into the wrong car.
Stop giving them money.
By the way, a good reason not to shoot into random cars.
Apologize.
Okay, or into any cars. So
What about the
I
race?
think Sean King should deserve tremendous credit for this story, because if it wasn't for his offers of figuring it out,
bribing
who
ghetto
the
hood
culprits
rats.
were, they might not have ever gotten that tip. Okay, now a lot of the right wing say, "Oh, Sean
Right-wing.
King has an agenda."
I'm a Hillary Clinton
Well,
supporter.
it's not wrong to have an agenda. It's wrong to
Very interesting.
skew the facts to fit your agenda.
That's Marina.
And Sean did not do that. Now,
What?
We'll get to his agenda in a second.
Oh, he didn't
But when
lie?
he got the information that it was
gonna go off on
two
this.
black guys who did it instead of a white guy,
Oh.
he turned it into the cops.
Oh.
And they got the real guys who did it.
Brilliant.
Isn't that how it's supposed to work? I think the entire country, let alone the left wing, the right wing, etc., should be thanking Sean King for solving the case. Certainly the family is. The family's like, look, all we cared about was getting justice, and it turns out these guys did it. We fought.
Outrageous.
We got the real guys who did it. Justice. Thank you.
So the second suspect has been identified by prosecutors as Larry Woodruff, and that is the individual who allegedly
Thanks for reading
fired
the news to
gun.
us.
And so it's interesting because the sheriff's office didn't want to name him, but prosecutors have put his information out there. Investigators are still looking for the driver of the red pickup truck reported at the scene. They don't believe that the driver, described as a white man in his 40s, or the truck were involved in the shooting, despite previous reports suggesting that racism had played a role in Jasmine's death.
So, and by the way, all credit to also everybody that contributed to that fund, including Houston Texans star DeAndre Hopkins, who gave his playoff check into
a black hero.
Excuse me. There's two different funds. DeAndre Hopkins gave to the GoFundMe fund to fund the funeral for the family because the family does not have a lot of money, and obviously they were grief-stricken, etc. So wonderful job by all those people to arrive at the right answer. In fact, I want to quote the family lawyer. He said they wanted the right person to be convicted, not a white person. Right? Of course, their 7-year-old daughter was shot. Of course, they want to find out who the right person was.
Race doesn't matter, just the person.
So
not the race, doesn't
now,
matter.
as to the alleged Sean King agenda, some people say, well, look, Sean doesn't look into every murder in the country. He only looks into these cases where it looks like a white racist might have shot an African American. Yeah, that's right. It's not his job to be the cop for the whole country. Nobody elected him to do that. It's like saying, oh, I guess you only care about the Klan murders of black people, but you don't care about other murders. No, I care about other murders, but I'm going to chase down the Klan murders. That's my agenda.
What?
And if you lived back then, that would have been a great agenda.
The Klan got brought up.
Had that agenda back then.
Okay, and we can play that game when it comes to anything. For all the idiots out there who pretend like they care about the Armenian genocide, which we've talked about on the show on a regular basis, and have acknowledged it on a regular basis.
You
guys care about the genocide of the Rohingya Muslims? Have you guys been going off on that? You care about what's happening to the Yemeni children right now? The tens of thousands of them who have already died and the millions of them who could lose their lives in coming months because of the famine there? Do they care about that? No, they don't.
Oh, she outcared us. You outcared us. You're better than us.
To the truth.
Exactly.
And you don't care about justice. It's just a political trick or a game for you guys.
What the fuck?
Sean instead found the real culprit and helped to bring out justice. Which is the whole point.
Yeah, justice, not racial.
And now
racial justice, just justice.
So some are saying, well, you guys reported that it was a white guy. Yeah, that's because 4 witnesses in the family reported that it was a white guy. And we had questions as to why he might have done that, and we speculated on that a little bit at the time, but mainly said on the video,
what?
Hey guys,
the whole video is about hate crime. Right? The whole video is about hate crime.
Figure it out.
Jesus.
Okay? So then they're like, oh, are you going to take down some of the videos about the case? Well, after we discovered that it was not the white guy, he's just a witness. Cops are still looking for him, but only as a witness. That he's not at all a suspect. Okay. Well, after we found out, yeah, of course you don't want to put that up because now we know who the real guys are. Before we found out, well, how the hell who do we know? The cops didn't know. Nobody knew, right? So then they're like, okay, then we took down a video that came out afterwards, and they're like, oh, so now you're taking down the videos. But which one is it, guys? Do you want us to take it down or do you want us to
shouldn't have made it in the first place.
Make up your mind. Sometimes the news, I know, hold on. I hope you're sitting. Sometimes the news develops.
What?
And
you don't take down
that you thought was going in one direction goes in a different direction.
So stupid.
You report on the first day, you reported also on the second day. Oh my God.
You don't take down the fucking news.
This is the thing. So there's people that talk about, are you going to take back what you said? Are you going to be? Are you going to no longer believe Sean King, this particular mother in this case, or any other witnesses, minority witnesses that have been victims of violent crime based off of who they are? Because it happens in this country. So first thing you have to admit is we've always had this problem in this country where people will attack someone based off of who they are. A lot of times those people in power are allowed to get away with it. From police officers to just random folks. From way back in our history of our country. Guys and people in power have been allowed to do that. It's transitioned now to people who call the cops on a random minority.
Yeah, like whites.
I'm going to call the cops on you because I know they're going to back me up no matter what the situation is because it's me versus you. So for the people who are asking, hey, are you gonna stop listening to voices like Sean King? You're gonna stop listening to voices like victims who are involved in these situations. You have to ask yourself, why do you want people to stop listening to victims?
Because Sean King's incredible.
Because part of it was because you guys are framing white guys. Which white guy got framed for this crime? Which white guy has been put in prison for murder of black folks that didn't do it? How many black people in this country have been put in prison, killed, executed for rape, murder, assault, anything of white folks that they didn't do it? The situation you can't flip. That's why you can't flip the reverse racism card. Because the history, the factual basis of things that happen in our country is the people in power are given that power over people who are not in power because our society judges people differently. So if there was this framing job done by Sean King and carried out by the Young Turks and everyone else who actually cares about these things being evened out.
They watch my video.
If you're worried about that, then it's going to be one of the first times in history that it's happened because it doesn't happen that way. So which white guy got framed? None of them did.
What?
So after you discover that, what you realize
framed all of us.
is what you don't want is people to believe black victims anymore.
What?
And the reason you don't want that is because there's this influx of people who are holding people accountable for crimes that we didn't used to hold people accountable for. They're like, I can't believe these lower class citizens than me keep talking to me like they're on the same level as me. How dare they ask
we're all
for
just
a
so
white guy
racist, man.
who potentially
It's
committed
incredible.
a crime to be
Can't
brought to
believe
justice?
This is better than I expected.
So, Jared, excellent point. And what the right wing does all the time is projection. They think like, well, you know, we were terrible to minorities, but we were the majority. So if African Americans, Latinos, et cetera, become the majority in this country, oh my God, what are they going to do to us? They're going to lock us up in FEMA camps, et cetera. There is no such intention. Okay, that's only what happened in the past with, unfortunately, the white majority in this country. That doesn't mean that the white majority still believes that. It doesn't mean that racism is solved and the white majority doesn't believe it. There's not a single person in the white majority that thinks anything bad. That's also preposterous. It's preposterous on all sides. And you think, well, look, hundreds, thousands of African Americans have been framed in this country, as JR alluded to. That's a fact. A lot of them have now been released. Some we found out and proven in hindsight they were framed, right?
They didn't do nothing.
With DNA evidence, et cetera, it's absolutely proven they were framed.
No problem.
Now you think, oh, they're going to start framing white people. No, they're not. So here was a perfect opportunity. If Shaun King wanted to frame a white person, I mean, he had 4 witnesses. He had them. He could have just buried the tip and then be like, oh yeah, it's still the white guy. He proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that that is not his intention. Every right winger in the country should be thanking Shaun King and going, my God, I was wrong about him. It turns out he does actually care about justice. It isn't just about race.
Right. Well, they have to care about justice, right? Rather than, denying racial tensions in the country, which I don't really understand. I mean, are you still denying that there was racial tension in the country?
You're racist.
I mean, look at who we have as
racist.
the leader
Trump.
of the United States. Who consistently,
that.
on a regular basis, will do and say things that are so brazen and racist.
Fuck Trump.
No, that's because there's snowflakes. And look, I know it's all overused, right? All these terms are overused. But they really are, they have this victim ideology in the right wing. Because in their mind, Anna, believe it or not, they really think that of course there's racial tensions because white people are being oppressed in this country.
Right, yeah.
They genuinely believe that, as if blacks and Latinos and Muslims have all the power in the United States of America, and they're using it to put their boot on the necks of white people. I mean, on what planet?
We've talked about it before. There's a rise in right-wing, alt-right, white supremacist violence, terrorism in the country, and our law enforcement has overlooked it because they're like, well,
talk about it, Charlottesville.
They don't really look like terrorists to me.
Dylan Rufus.
So that has been allowed to run a lot more rampant. So there's a symptom of a bit of PTSD from folks who have been oppressed and have seen this much violence go on in the country. So when these things are brought up, you go, let's get this wrapped up because we never really did this to this extent before. Our voices are being heard more, and that's a threat to some people. Hey, we go with the same thing. If you didn't do it, what are you worried about? I thought that's what we always tell folks whenever they get when other folks get arrested, and they say, hey, you know what? If you don't want your information sifted through and looked at and listened to, hey, if you didn't do it, what do you have anything to worry about? Same deal. Yeah. Hey, if it didn't happen, the investigators will find out that who it actually was, which actually happened in this case.
Yeah, and of course, look, it's not just Shaun King. Of course, credit to the cops, credit to everyone who was involved in getting to the right suspects. So all we ever care about was justice. I'm gonna say one last programming note here. For all the people screaming, oh, why haven't you done a video about it yet? The show is 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day. Okay, you can tune in live at tyt.com/live, and then you'll see whether we did the story.
Jake,
it's the first story we did.
They don't care. Okay. They don't care. They don't care. I wasn't here for the original story, meaning there's nothing on the record that involves me commenting when the story first broke. Do you know how many tweets I got about like, oh, so you said that it was a white guy. What happened? I was on vacation, that's what happened. I haven't commented on the story yet. They're not watching this. They don't care what the facts are. They don't care whether we're fair. They don't care about any of it, which is why I hate addressing them. They're hateful, bigoted losers. So let's move on and cover the news that matters.
Last thing, I'm sorry. Let's use Jake's term. So also, I also got some of those points talking about Abe, but it was done by Black Thug Animals, right? So if you care about black violence, if you care about violence within certain communities because they said, it was gang related or whatever they're saying it is. I don't even know the details of what they said, the reason why they were targeting someone else who they thought was in that car.
Wow, they didn't even mention it.
If you care about tensions within certain communities, have you gone in to figure it out? Have you been a part of the solution? Do you care about the education system in our country? Do you care about people having more opportunities to not be in the situations where these types of violence arise?
I make videos about it.
Do you know how any of it works? You know what else has been going on? There was a story maybe a week ago.
White people?
Violent crime and gun violence has dropped in Chicago. Are they going to keep talking about that, or are they going to keep going back to Chicago and say,
still insane.
Just look at Chicago, your president likes to say. So when things are, and if you do look into it, do you know why things have changed? And are you a part of that solution? If you actually care, or do you just use those statistics and those crimes to validate your point to say you're better than someone else?
Yeah.
In the position that they're in.
Of course, because all they ever talk about is black culture. It's black culture's problem, right? I couldn't see through that racism. It was really well hidden.
What?
Okay, and by the way, our #1 point in that original video was still holes. Because the problem is guns. And so I can't stand it when any race has guns and use it for crime. I'm like, oh, black people use guns for crime. Oh, that's fine. I mean, but again, the right wing is so mental that they probably do think that we think that. How preposterous. No, that's why I don't want all those guns. I don't want it in gang members' hands. I don't want it in everybody's hands. We've got 250 million guns in the country now. And yes, people shoot them and kill people all the time. There are no drive-by hangings. There are no drive-by knifings, okay? They use guns to kill people. And again, this was guns that did it. And finally, I get it. It's not incumbent upon everyone to watch every video and every show we've ever done. But if you haven't, could you just cool it for a second and see what we actually do on the show? And this applies to the right and the left. The other day, somebody's like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you give Tulsi Gabbard credit for coming out against Pago? We broke the news. We literally were the first ones to say that on air.
My God.
Okay, so look, I got a last tip for you guys. tyt.com/join. Become a member, then you won't miss any of the show. And then at least your critique could be constructive.
And accurate.
And accurate if you actually watch the show. All right, but anyway, again, thrilled that there's justice in this case. Thank you to Shaun King and the cops and everyone involved. But let's not lose track of the fact that Jasmine Parnes' life was lost. And it's an absolute tragedy. Another
That's the moment. That's the segment.
Tragedy in America because of our runaway gun violence. And they're doing on Tuesday Justice for Jasmine Barnes community rally. And everybody needs to go to that. It doesn't matter where the violence came from. The violence is real and has to be addressed.
We got to take a break. When we come back, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's interview with Anderson Cooper and the feedback that she's received from the right wing.
Oh my God. Dude. That did not go well for them. Holy Christ. Did you see that? That chat was hysterical, by the way. Fucking unreal. Huh. I mean, I don't know if I should take a bow or, I mean, what should I do here? I mean, now they did address, they're triggered. I think they watched my video. Like they definitely heard the feedback. It's not just mine, but the people that have been harassing them. It doesn't matter where the violence came from. All right, let's see what you're talking about. Devin called it. Yeah, I did call it. I mean, let's go through my prediction video and we'll just do a quick assessment before, like I have this massive video I'm working on, but then when I get to LA, I'll record and talk about this because this is just ridiculous. I mean, I love that when JR goes, you know what these people, they don't care about. They don't care about genocide. We care about genocide. They just want to say we're better than you. And Anna's like, yeah, that's what I mean, do I have to point out that's what Anna's main drive is? That's what she's there to do. They're despicable, says Marino. Yes. You rock, keep it up. Okay, so he blames guns. Let's just go through my video real quick. And let's try to ascertain what I was talking about.
Okay, predictions. It's, this is a quick video. Just got to get it.
Let's go number one.
Don't know. They will convict the murderer.
Okay, race doesn't matter. Clearly they said that the whole time. We just care about justice. We don't care about... Now, these people are explicitly focused on racial justice. I mean, this is why they hired Shaun King. This is why they highlighted Shaun King. That's the theme, that the overwhelming theme of every video they did was about the racial aspect of this case. It wasn't just, let's catch the killers. Because how clueless do they think we are? Well, I should save this shit for later. All right, I'm not going to waste my mental energy. You know, it's a problem. If I express myself, I feel like I got it out of my system. And I have to record this. So I'm going to hold it inside the old noggin. But I will tell you that I was 1,000% correct on number one. 1,000%. Like, they didn't do anything that was even getting close to being apologetic or reflecting on the fact that they were totally demented in their fear-mongering and in their dividing of the races. So they could have said, look, we got out of hand. It turns out this wasn't a hate crime. White people had nothing to do with this. We were wrong to have besmirched white people and just inflamed for no fucking reason, and suggested that white people are just offing black people. Like, that was really reckless and irresponsible of us. And you know what it was? It was two black guys killing. And did you notice they didn't talk about those guys at all? Eric Black Jr., they didn't research it. They just said, these are the names of these guys. You didn't bring up their criminal record, their motivation. Now, if they had found the white guy, they would have gone neck deep into his bio. We would have found out his manifesto, his Facebook, every post he's ever made, his political leanings. These two black guys, they would just basically, they're like NPCs. They just brushed them off, like, oh, whatever. I mean, even Jared was like, I don't know if it was this gang, it was like a gang thing. I'm not sure. I don't really know. Like, they completely lost interest or the second they found out there were two black guys. Now, the story might even get thicker. I'm getting reports that this woman, LaPortia Washington, knew Eric Black Jr. They were Facebook friends. Do you think that's a coincidence? What 30-year-old single mom of four who is a part-time prostitute, part-time drug user, knows a 20-year-old black guy and is friends on Facebook? What is that relationship? And what are you doing at 6:30 in the morning going out getting coffee? Was that the early bird special? It sounds weird to me. So one reported story is she went to get drugs, didn't pay for it. There was some sort of money issue, and these guys pursued and shot them because of it. That is one story I'm hearing. Do not be surprised if that comes out and that might be the truth. Because it still doesn't make sense that two black dudes, gang-related or not, are just going to shoot up a car that's filled with a bunch of women thinking it's rival gang members. Women aren't in gangs. I mean, I know technically some are, but this is not normal. This is not... Trust me, I have done massive research on this. I've seen Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood. So what is that, a PhD? You just don't shoot up a car filled with women at 6:30 in the morning. You just don't. So I would love to hear from Eric Black Jr. and Larry Woodruff. Can't wait. I wonder if there's going to be a follow-up. These people are done with this story. Now, if they had caught a white guy, if this white guy, you know, he would have had a backstory. He was alt-right. Oh God, he listened to Ben Shapiro, and they would have dived into this guy's social media presence, and we would have learned everything about him. And his face would have been plastered, and his perp walk would have been, and his full name. You know, it would have been everywhere. He would have been the poster boy. But instead, notice the difference. And again, it doesn't even matter what we're talking about during this case. Please understand that the very fact we're talking about this case is everything. That is everything. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, shit. We're on their playing field. Do you understand? They wanted to talk about this case. Now, by the way, we shall never again be talking about this case. They will never. They will never do another story on this. Okay? Mark my words on that. Unless something insane happens, they won't follow up. And the reason is they don't want it to be the playing field. If you thought that they were about highlighting and tracking down black suspects in homicides, they could do that every week. They could do that every day. They don't do that. And they know why they're not doing that, because they're not just about justice. And even Genk leaked it. He was like, is Sean King, does he focus on black people? Is that his bias? Is that his thing? Yeah, it is. And that's fine. It's fine. And then he cuts to the KKK. I couldn't even believe that. I said they were going to mention Dylan Roof and Charlottesville. And by the way, they did. They go, there's been an uptick in right-wing acts of terrorism and shit like that. That's what they were referencing. Clearly. They didn't call it by name, but it was. So I am correct on that. But yeah, it's like the KKK? Do you realize how much shade they threw at white people in this segment? It was laced with fucking anti-white bigotry. Laced with it. So what was my second point?
They're going to down control.
He waited. He was like 3/4 of the way through, and he goes, but the thing we really need to focus on here, I said it before. He didn't say it before. Is it's the guns. It's really the guns. Although he might have said it before because I didn't watch that whole video. But this is bullshit. This is so disingenuous. You know this. I mean, I wonder if in the coverage of Dylan Roof did he talk about guns? What degree of importance is he putting on? Dylan Roof shouldn't even had a gun. Versus, what does Dylan Roof represent? This is a hateful, racist motherfucker. I mean, it was so insulting the way that they just talked about white people, saying white people are afraid that if it was reversed, that you're going to be put in, what was it, like prisons or be subjugated. And they made all this ridiculous racist speculation about how we view them, what we care about, why we care about the things we care about. Like, it was just crazy, fucking crazy. And then they virtue signaled like a motherfucker in there too.
Desire to young
talk shit about whites. So that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it was beginning to end. You can cut that thing up like with a Ginsu knife, and it is talking shit about whites. And again, the story, what did whites do? What did we do to deserve this? And the answer is, at the beginning of the video, we're not on even ground. It's not neutral. It's not like, why would I talk shit about whites? What have whites ever done? Like, what? No, they hate white people at the beginning of the video. So a video about two blacks killing a black girl, yeah, they're going to bring up the KKK. Yeah, they're going to say all the fucking whites are racist. Yeah, you don't care about genocides if it's with brown people. Like, what in the hell are you talking about? Like, the nerve of Anna to bring up the Armenian genocide. Like, as if that's a winning topic for them. Motherfucker. It's so fucking nauseating. Now, that was 3 right in a row. I think Kiss Sean's King's flat white ass. That is absolutely correct. They did that with flying colors throughout the entire segment. And I think I was wrong on my Think of the Children. Yep, Genk did that. At the end, he did that. He said, it's about Jasmine Barnes. Remember Jasmine. The funeral is God. And then this, I'm partially right, though. Don't explain why you delete the videos. Well, they did try to explain it, but they were fucking miserably wrong. I mean, it was pathetic excuse for. They said news changes, so you take down the videos when the news changes? Huh? The hell? Do you know how many videos I could pull up with false information that they've put up? Like, the Omar Mateen shit, where they would say, oh, Omar Mateen, it's a homophobic thing, and there's so much homophobia in America. Turns out he had nothing against gay people, that dude. No more than any other Muslim. He just had Googled a nightclub in Florida. That they found his Google search. He didn't look up gay nightclub. He wasn't gay. So do you think I could find a clip of Genk going, here's the thing, Omar Mateen was a gay? I mean, no, they deleted those videos to cover their tracks and to avoid the embarrassment of being such race hustling fucking maggots. That's why they did it. You know that's true. I know that's true. They know it's true. That's why they were so panicked. Did you see their temperament in that? It was like, I mean, it was uncomfortable. That's incredible. So, in other words, I absolutely nailed this. I had the balls to put out my video before. I called my shot. Babe Ruth, yeah. Did somebody call? They said Babe Ruth. They said I pointed to the bleachers. Exactly. That's what I did. So, stay tuned. I'm going to work on this video now. I have a little time before my flight. It was crazy. That was seriously an insane segment. It's called an update. As long as you update, you don't need to delete anything. Yeah, but also, people are not stupid. I mean, if you put out a story, like, look, they put out during 2016, the election, Hillary Clinton's going to win. All right, I've looked at the numbers, I've crunched the numbers, they're going to win. Hillary Clinton's going to win. That's my prediction. After the election, they didn't go back and delete that video. No, the analysis stood at the moment. Everybody knows that time is linear and goes by. Why? They don't do this with any other story. The story developed. What the fuck are they talking about? Who are they kidding? I mean, do you know how many stories they do where it's like, remember that one they tried to do with a Christian terrorist? They said, oh, it's a Christian terrorist. He was caught with explosives, bomb-making materials. The guy had firecrackers and was going to an abortion clinic to be hired by that abortion clinic. And they go, he had explosive materials. It was a Christian guy. He showed up at an abortion clinic. It's Christian terrorism. Nobody talks about it. Now, that story, the aftermath of that story was, he was just a guy with some firecrackers in a backpack He was moving apartments that day. He was stopping off to get an application. He wasn't a terrorist. That was not a Christian terrorist. They kept that video up. They didn't retract it. They didn't say, we're sorry. God damn it, we were dead wrong on that. So that is a lie. That is a bullshit excuse Genk just put out. They were panicked. They got called out. And I think they watched my video prior. I think my video was short enough that somebody got it to them because enough of you were tweeting that shit at them. And I think they saw it, and that's why they reacted to almost everything I said in my video. And you saw the chat. The people in that little chat on the right side, oh my God, every other thing was AIU, AIU. I had no idea people cared or noticed me that much. But maybe it's because I'm fucking 1,000% right on this. Maybe because it matters. Maybe because this is a pattern. This is not a one-off. They're doing this tomorrow. Bet your ass they're doing it tomorrow if some shit comes up. And it's like Sean King is the kingpin of this whole thing. Like, he's the guy that we're trusting his credibility. Sean King is a completely discredited hack. Everyone knows that. If you're not a complete douchebag, you are aware of who that man is. Oh, man. Don't forget the airport bomber they said was white, who was actually an Indian. Yeah. Did they take that video down? Probably not. Let me play with your balls. Oh my God. You got to be careful with them, though. Dude, your reach is wider than you know. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, God. The vindication. Holy shit. It's so funny. I'm going to have a field day editing that tonight, but I'll record. Maybe I'll just use what I just said. It was fairly accurate, but man, 9/10 women are incredibly mediocre. 9 out of 10 women. The mother has been booked before. They'll also mention a time when a sketch of a black man was released to the public, only to find out later the perpetrator was a white man. Yeah, that was great. They go, you white people think that white people were being framed? Were being framed? No, nobody ever accused anyone of framing anybody. Morons. We look on very sketchy details of a shit eyewitness report that didn't make sense. Like, it would have crumbled under cross-examination. They determined that this white guy was responsible. Not only was it the white guy, they speculated openly and at length about why he did it. Knowing only this, very key point here, knowing only this, he was a white guy. That was all they knew about him, and they went on a goddamn never-ending saga about hate crimes and whites attacking blacks is a problem. I mean, do I have to sit them down and explain to them? You fucking idiots are aware that blacks attack whites way more than whites attack blacks. Whites attack blacks. Yeah? You understand that, right? So why? How could you possibly justify doing a story about the least common thing that happens? Does that not sit doesn't that make you feel awkward? It's as if they simply don't care. And that is the answer, by the way. We know that's the answer. They're just cunty, opinionated, biased, self-involved human beings. And by the way, did you notice that through line through that whole video? We're awesome. We care. We want justice. Sean King did this. We care about genocide. Oh, what have you done to help the black community? We do stuff. We're better than you. That was the whole thing. And it's neither here nor there. What are you here for? Are you here to report the news? We don't need you to read what CNN reported. That's what they do. Where do you think they get their news from? A TYT field reporter live from Houston? That's not happening. They're not cutting to some D-bag in Houston. No, they're getting their shit the same place you get their shit. It's a Google search. They're reading a Google search result. And then they put their virtue signaling, saying, look how much better I am than you. Then they put their racism, goddamn those fucking whites, how about that KKK? Why did that white guy kill that black kid? Well, white people have historically been very hateful, violent assholes. I mean, I will go through that video with a fine-tooth afro pick, and I will pull out every single ridiculous point they said, and I will literally fuck its asshole without any lubricant. There will be blood. There will be friction. It won't be pretty at all. It will smell. It will be just ghastly. And at the end of it, you're going to be like, God damn it, why do I have a libido? That was just disgusting to witness. Okay? Be ready. Gateway Pundit using your tweet in an article. Who's Gateway Pundit? Huh. Billy Bong in the house. Old Hooknose herself. Yeah, oh God. Oh, is this Hooknose? Yeah, do you want to see a picture of Hooknose? There she is. Good morning. Gotta download that. That's going in a video. Fuck yeah. So is Steve Shives as a Ewok. Can I interest you in that? As if that needs to be responded to. Steve Shives is an Ewok. Where are you at? Here he is. Not sure which Ewok, but there he is. So much hair. I wonder what Steve's take is on this. We could do just theater, just a 5-minute sketch of Steve Shives' reaction to the Jasmine Barnes murder. He's not going to cover it, obviously. The silence is going to be just the beautiful testament to where he stands on it. Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, there's an expression, something about showing up is like 90% of the challenge. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to go to the, you're trying to go to the gym and burn calories, and people say, oh, what am I going to do at the gym? Like, how am I going to, lift weights or do cardio? It doesn't matter. Just show up. Once you're at the gym, you'll figure it out. The biggest challenge, the biggest battle is deciding to go to the gym. With the Young Turks and with any editor, with any content creator, the 95% at least of the issue is what topic you picked. What topic you picked. You had a blank page and you chose to put something on it. Now, I wonder how they would defend that. Why did you make 4 videos on Jasmine Barnes? Why? I mean, you could highlight, like, here's 100 other people you could have done a story on. You didn't. Why Jasmine Barnes? Why? Don't tell me there's no reason. Don't tell me that. They just tried to tell us that, by the way. We just want justice. We randomly want justice for Jasmine Barnes. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other missing persons cases or murder cases where they didn't have the suspect, but they had a police sketch. I don't think that exists. We probably couldn't find that. You call the LAPD, call the NYPD, and ask them, is there anybody that is still at large, and maybe we could help out hunting them down because we are virtuous and shit? No, but they've satiated their virtue hunger. They did that. They saved, Sean King. Oh, beautiful, Sean. Take a vacation, my man. You earned that $500K that the TYT people gave you because you brought this dude to justice. I mean, how little did they discuss the 2 murders, which should have been the story? Not this fucking obsession with the victim, not this racism towards white people, not a discussion of the KKK. No, who are these 2 black guys and why did they kill this kid? They gave that 0.1% of this segment. Anyone else notice that? Am I going crazy here? Wow. Just blows my mind. Nobody tackles AIU, TYT turds like AIU does, exactly. Devon, use a racist and fuck, bruh. Low-key racist, man. Steve Shives made the AOC dancing video. Yeah, I noticed that. Shives is, he's on that Star Trek high because he's got all those fans from Star Trek. Shit. He had a pickup truck, yeah. Okay, it is 4:45. Shit, I don't have much time. Okay. Let's check my Twitter. Oh, God. Yeah, look at this. Someone sends me this. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of crap, but a relative of mine owns a business where the shooters were at just before the shooting. Yesterday, the sheriff came and got video to confirm they had the right suspects. The real story was she was buying drugs and tried to leave without paying, and then they opened fire on her, not knowing she had a little girl in there. It's sad, but that's what happened, as far as we found out from credible sources. So, if that is the case, oh man, if that is the case, how wonderful would that be? I would be tickled because I would be staring. I'd hit the refresh every day to see if the Young Turks did a follow-up. An obviously mandatory follow-up. I mean, they would have to cover that if that comes out. And if they were to cover that, would they wedge white people into that discussion, into a drug deal gone bad, turned into this violence? We still don't have the story from the two young shooters. I mean, like, people are not even curious about it. Like, why would you shoot a rival gang? How did you know they were a rival gang? A false positive ID on a car? That's all it takes? What gangster just looks at a car and not the people in the car? Surely you'd get a face recognition. So it doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. But call it off, man. We won. They won. They caught the bad guys, and really the main point is Sean King's awesome. We care about everybody. We're better than you. Goodbye, fuck whites. That's it. Story's over. Oh, Lord. I'm telling you, man. It's hard being this good. It's hard. For anyone up in arms about a falsely accused white man, 22 minutes ago, Young Turks, up in arms about a falsely accused white man, let me ask you this. Oh, this is... We're not upset that the white man was falsely accused. I mean, that's part of it, but that's not... They're missing the point. They don't understand. How many times have you gotten this upset about a falsely accused black man? What? If your answer is 0, maybe reconsider the nature of your outrage. Jasmine's family has justice. That's what matters. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So what did they just say in there? They said, don't be upset that we completely bungled this and fucked up and accused a white guy off shit evidence. No, what we were concerned about, it could have been an innocent mistake. Like they were caught in the panic of the shooting. But what we're concerned about is what you did after. It's not that there was a suspect. It's the fact that you turned a tweet from a fucking idiot into a national news story that enraged millions of people of color and, again, wedged the two races apart from each other significantly more. There was people going, I mean, you saw the videos. I'm doing a video on it right now. Yeah, we got to fight back. Like, these white people, this is a white supremacist conspiracy. Remember that dude at McDonald's? That dude at McDonald's? And then we got this. I mean, man, it's been happening 400 years they've been doing this shit. Like, we got to rise up. Like, these white people, they just want to kill them. They want to kill us. Like, that is the damage that they cause. Nobody cares a falsely accused white man. Nobody cares about that guy. We were all assuming that it was a white guy. Like that. Do they think that we don't think that white people are capable of murder? We understand there's some fucked up white people out there. Are they that stupid? But then in this tweet, they're again saying fuck whites, whites are racist. Do you guys understand that? Like, oh, why you wouldn't? When was the last time you were upset that a black person was falsely accused? Well, if that's ever the case, sure, I'd be upset. I mean, think off the top of my head. A black person, right now I'm upset that a black woman, half black, got let out of jail when she was rightfully accused of murdering a man. She murdered a white man. And she's now out of jail. She's going to be on parole in August or July or something. So wait, I'm supposed to have, so this is an outrage competition. Where was your outrage over a black who was falsely accused? Care to bring one up? Let me think. A black person falsely accused. Wasn't there a movie like Denzel Washington, something about I forget. I mean, okay, I don't follow these cases. But again, notice the framing of the conversation. What about the blacks who didn't do nothing? Is essentially what they're saying. Okay, well, then I guess I'm concerned for that. All right? Like, of course, we want to arrest the correct people, but you're overlooking the problem. What about the blacks who did do something? Like the two people that you just completely skipped over and didn't talk about. We are concerned with problems, actual problems, not non-problems. So if you are trying to say, here's our concern, the problem of blacks being wrongfully convicted. Okay, interesting. I would counter that by saying, it's not just blacks who are wrongfully convicted. So be it. If there's new DNA testing, run it. Do it all. Everybody has a fair trial. Beautiful. Do not think that we're now going to avoid the topic of blacks commit more crimes. Okay, the overall numbers. We're not worried about the fringe cases of the injustice, little pocket here and there. We're talking about large trends, okay? And blacks commit crimes not because of white people, not because of white racism, none of that shit. It's all on them, all on them. And that's what we're concerned about, because in general, we're all strangers. Nobody knows each other. There's 7 billion people, okay? All we want is a chance to have freedom to live our lives in peace. In peace. We don't want you fucking it up for us. And that is why crime is such a big topic. You could do anything you want. You could listen to whatever music you want. You could fap to whatever you want. You could fuck whoever you want. We don't care. But if you assault us, if you threaten us, if you kill us, then we have issues. That's why we're concerned about 20-year-old gangsters, regardless of race. But we know what the races tend to be. We know that. So they are avoiding the elephant-sized problems in the room to just talk about these little minuscule, just fucking random, arbitrary problems that make them feel happy. It's bullshit. And these people have the nerve to talk about, when was the last time you were upset that a black person was falsely accused? When was the last time these motherfuckers did anything pro-white and did anything that was critical of blacks? I mean, if you want to play this game, look at the fucking coverage. Go type the word white into Young Turks and look at the videos. It is a fucking never-ending, cascading list of shitting on white people and being racist towards whites. These people are racists. I don't know how else, like, that is short and sweet. That's who they are. They would like to beat their chest. None of them are comfortable in a majority white country. They just simply aren't. Got some people walking by. Okay, so what did he say? Yeah. Jasmine's family has justice. That's what matters. Oh, you know, it's so sad. I feel embarrassed for them. Like, I literally predicted this. What was the first thing I said? The first fucking comment is race doesn't matter. The word matter. Matter. Justice matters. Okay, well, if justice is what matters, then, okay, let's break that down. Let's think of that logically. What we would need to do is figure out who is killing the most, okay? Who's committing the most crimes? And who is at large still the most? Do you think that's white or black? Do you think that should be reflected in your choices of coverage? If not, what it tells me is that justice doesn't matter. Black justice matters to you. And this is why they don't think all lives matter. They just think Black Lives Matter. That's why they do stories on Black Lives Matter. The hypocrisy is so easy to showcase. It's so easy. Shit. What is happening here? Cenk is kissing Sean's ass again. Okay, here we go. If a white person moves out, that's white flight, it's racism. Moves in, that's gentrification, it's racism. Sees color, it's racism. Doesn't see color, is ignoring racism, it's racism. Doesn't partake in culture, non-exclusive, it's racism. Engages in the culture, it's cultural appropriation, it's racism. Yes, the gig is up, guys. We understand that this is bullshit. Fuck you. I mean, maybe they thought there was just enough soft, bitch-ass white people out there that could just get away with whatever. But you're going to run into other people. Like, we're not all like that, so sorry. I love that live stream chat was inundated with AIU while they talked about Jasmine Barnes. AIU, Atheism Unstoppable. Yeah, fuck them. Say my name. And that's funny that they'll never platform me. They'll never say my name. Neither will Brown Fabio. Not in a video. I wish they would. If they did, it would literally be like more money in my pocket. It would be more exposure. They would validate. Well, I don't need their validation, but they would bring my brand to the attention of thousands more people. And they don't want to do that because they fear me, because they know I'm right. They have to know I'm right. Isn't it funny that nobody, here's a little fun point. You know how I do reaction videos? I'll take a Steve Shives video. I'll take a David Pakman, Kyle Kalinske, a TYT. I react point by point. I play their entire video. I listen to everything they say, and I absolutely just rip them to shreds, right? You've seen this happen, yeah? Notice that nobody takes my videos and does the same. I've never seen someone, aside from a complete autist, take a Devin Tracy video, go through it, and show me where I'm wrong. Do you know why? Oh God, spoiler. Spoiler, because I'm not fucking wrong, because I'm a goddamn genius. And I didn't think I was a genius until the internet. That's a key point. I thought I was pretty bright, you know. I was proud of who I am and where I came from and what I was about and my capabilities. Then I go online and I go, holy shit, I'm in the 1%. Same thing with chess. I was pretty proud of my chess game. I lose to superior players. I'm ranked around 2,000. Not the best in the world. And then I go to check my stats compared to everybody who plays chess at chess.com. I'm in the 99 percentile. That's the same thing. It's the same shit. All right, what do we got? The mother, here's Joe Live Life. The mother lied to cover her ass by blaming it on the white man. She could have been arrested for manslaughter. Possible if it's a drug deal gone wrong. Right, so the mother was speaking on behalf of the child. So, like, she could have, by the way, this might be clipped later. If this turns out to be true, this will be clipped. The mother sort of coached her daughter. At one point in one of the interviews, the daughter said there was a white guy, he was in a car, he had a hoodie on, he kind of looked sick. And the mother jumped in. They were interviewing the daughter, the 15-year-old. And the mother jumped in and said, what she means by sick is he just didn't look right or he looked a little off. She was putting words into her daughter's mouth. So in the aftermath of this shooting, let's say it was a drug deal that went bad. Or, she tried to get away and the guy was like, what, nah, fuck that shit. And they chased him and shot them. I could see her wanting to pin it on a white guy. Why not? I mean, if she knew that it was Eric, her friend, her Facebook friend, who shot her, what is she going to do? She has a massive criminal record. So if she's in violation of any of this shit, if you're taking your 4 daughters on a drug run and, your drug dealer, he shoots you up, you think you want to report that to the cops? Hey, cops, we just got shot. By who? My drug dealer. What? You're going to jail, LaPortia. You're going to fucking jail. So now she panics. Oh, it was a white guy. It was probably a white guy. Yeah. Don't tell him it's Eric Black. You knew it was Eric Black. He's your friend. Do you think what are the odds that a Facebook friend shoots you? Just period. How many Facebook friends do you have? You end up getting shot. You're sitting there, you're bleeding out, and you think, was this a Facebook friend? Motherfucker, it was my Facebook friend. Damn it, I didn't return their poke. They got revenge for my ignoring of their poke by shooting me. Watch, that might happen. And Uncle Devin will be there to cover it. Oh, I'll cover it. You watch. One man can destroy a network of lies. Stopping the hate spreading would be a great 2019. Look at that, Odin from England. There he goes, one man standing up to the machine. I am the Young Turk. I am the revolutionary. I'm the one bringing down the establishment. They are the fucking establishment. I speak truth to power. They have the power. They have the funding. They have the media. They have the platform. They have YouTube in their pocket. I'm the little guy with no budget. I'm sitting in a fucking lobby in a hotel in Denver. Nobody supports me, aside from my patrons, who all left in droves because Sargon of fucking bitch cod said the N-word. Unbelievable. Thanks. Off with his head. What is this about? Oh, yeah. AIU exposing what should be obvious to everyone since 2017-16. Exactly. I never forget a Fez. Jokes. All right. Yeah, I thought that was fairly devastating. White men posing as black people. Yeah, it's not happening. TYT viewers are predominantly non-Sargon, AIU, Tim Pool, Trump fans. This happens all the time. Wait a minute. What? Why do I always get lumped in with people that are like nowhere near me? Tim Pool is all over the map, but he is centrist scum. And part regressive. It's like that fucked up. Same with Sargon. Sargon supported Bernie Sanders and the Justice Democrats before now supporting Bolsonaro and Trump. What kind of a man is that? What is that? as an adult. It's not like he was, yeah, he changed politically from 18 to 23. No, from 36 to 39, he did this shit. It's gross. It's clueless. It shows that he's just like, it's whatever. Hassan Piker tried to review one of your videos, failed miserably, of course. Oh, good. Well, I'll find that. Jersey Rhino and the fucking house. The fucking house. Hassan Piker. Videos. Drunk Iris is a great idea. No, please tell me you give me more content.
Fine, dude. All right, just
8 hours. 8 hours. I need a timestamp.
Goblin, dude. He's a literal fucking gnome. Do you see him backing into his little dark crevice here?
Oh, 8 hours. He's online. These fucking losers. He's like, gnome. Gnome is the joke. You know, because you know how gnome is spelled G-N? Somebody pronounced it gnome. And it's like, gnome. God, is it lame. Thank God I'm not involved with this shit. Let's see. I'm looking for thumbnails. Come on, Hassan. How much time did you dedicate? Did you watch all 30 minutes? I doubt it. Little bitch.
Only gnomes do this, dude. Look at him. Look, he's like hiding.
This stupid shit.
You can tell.
Oh, fuck. All right. Okay. Are you all chill?
Are you all chill?
Some riveting content.
I thought you left me, dude. Oh shit, it's the fucking communist. He's in like a fucking murder coat. Oh my god.
Are you guys done?
No, we're not done
We're
yet.
just getting started.
Getting started.
Oh
Look
shit.
at him hiding in his dark corner, making fun of me, calling my coat a murder coat, dude.
We all let you for our drinks.
I'm fucking wet as hell, dude.
What the fuck is that raincoat?
Alright, go to the ATM, I'll hold the backpack.
There it is.
Oh god.
Take it off.
Wait, Andy,
Yeah?
it's not illegal to be drunk, right?
It's not illegal to be drunk, right? Yeah. Sikliyorum sizi de çocuk konuşamıyorum şu anda. Başka bir şey bakıyorum.
Yeah, don't see it. Fuck him. All right. Shaquille O'Neal is the topic. And we will be putting in this footage. I'm just going to go for like another little bit, just a few minutes, and then I got to bounce out of here. Okay, so we're going to go to footage of Shaquille right there. We're going to go, where's Dindu? Dindu is here. I like it. Let's get this volume down. It already is. And beautiful.
Funeral cost. Yeah, and Shaquille O'Neal is a legit good guy. And I want to do a video about him. And do you know why Shaquille O'Neal is an upstanding citizen? He's actually a sheriff. He's in law enforcement. The guy has never committed a crime. He's a Boy Scout. He's a monster. And yet he is a great citizen. Why? Because his dad.
Let's go back. There it is.
Why? Because his dad, Shaquille O'Neal's, not even his real dad, his stepfather was a military man.
Okay, as I'm talking about his dad, I'm going to zoom in to get, just to make that point register. Get up inside your head. Let's get up here. Mm-hmm.
Why? Because his dad, Shaquille.
And we're gonna tighten that up.
Monster, and yet he is a great citizen. Why? Because his dad, Shaquille O'Neal's, not even his real dad, his stepfather.
Let's get a little volume on this. Got a lot of background noise here right now. Got the janitors doing the vacuuming. Got the ESPN on. Fire raging.
Because his dad, Shaquille O'Neal's, not even his real dad, his stepfather.
Okay, stepfather, all that shit. We're going slide this over. No need for it to be centralized. Slide it. Yeah, there you go. And get a little motion blur on that. Go ahead.
Why? Because his dad, Shaquille O'Neal's, not even his real dad, his stepfather was a military man and taught him how to be a man, taught him about respect, and taught him how to have character. And you see it throughout this man's life.
Okay, and now let's explore the other footage I have of Shaq Dad. The Shaq Dad will make you jump. All right, let's see what we got. A Shaq interview.
Go do some got me. And it was a doctor down. I came and I scholarships. So I'm still relevant 5 years after playing because of that man. I'm responsible because of that man. He's the guy who made me who I am. You know, the term stepfather, I don't really use.
Yeah,
I use father. He's the guy who made me who I am. I'm in a big old house because of that man. I'm still relevant 5 years after playing because of that man.
All right, we're gonna have to cut somewhere in here. Find a logical place.
How to be a man, taught him about respect, and taught him how to have character. And you see it throughout this man's life. His stepfather was a great man. And by the way, if Shaquille O'Neal's father decided to step into LaPortia Washington,
okay,
father was a great man.
So right before that.
And you see it throughout this man's life.
Right in here. See what that sounds like.
Out this man's life.
His lie? He's a liar.
Out this man's life.
Okay, and we pop in. Go through the intro. What's this? How did you become the man you are? Is that the question? See if the music works in the background.
Out this man's life.
You were raised, you know.
Okay, and I will exit the screen. Notice that what I'm doing right now, I'm talking about fatherhood in the black community as a cure for, you know, a recipe for success. What did the Young Turks cover in regards to Eric Black Jr., in regards to this disaster of a woman, LaPortia Washington? No mention of any of that shit. Where the fuck are the fathers, any of the fathers? Just completely absent. Just horrible. Instead, it's white people's fault.
Involvement in your life about your mom and your late stepdad, who I know you love dearly, and I'm going to ask you about in a moment. Your biological father was not part of your life. Why was there no interest on your end in, you know, having a relationship with him?
Because, you know, the term stepfather, I don't really use. I use father. He's the guy who made me who I am. I'm in a big old house because of that man. I'm still relevant 5 years after playing because of that man. I'm responsible because of that man. So I thought it would be disrespectful to meet another man, you know, especially then. You know, he passed away a couple years. You know, if the time presents. presents itself, I may say hello and say thank you, but you know, a lot of people think I have hard feelings. I don't. Sometimes I don't even think about it because, you know, the guy that made me who I am today, I owe everything to him and him only. Growing up in a military household, you have to be big on respect, and I respect him. I respect the man that walks into a city hall, meets a lady. The lady has a son. He says, so what? He takes the lady and his son in.
Okay, the music is a little bit, it's a little bit cray-cray right here. Let's drop it on down. Let's give Shaq the floor. Go ahead, Shaq.
And they have a family and they raise a family. I respect the man that says, you know what, I got 3 kids. This Army job's not paying enough. Let me go do some side jobs to get some money. I respect the guy that says, you know what, I got to get my family out of Newark. The drugs are bad. Guys are starting to shoot and kill. Let's move to Georgia. Let's get a house. Let's get a land. I respect the guy that says, you know what, let's go to Germany. Go to Germany. I respect the guy that says, after Germany, let's go to Texas. And then, you know, I respect the guy that works hard from check to check and will do whatever it takes. I seen my father borrow money to get. I seen my father borrow money to get my brothers and sisters Christmas presents. Best present he got me was an autographed Dr. J ball. Dr. J was my man. And, you know, me and my father had a good enough relationship to
DeAndre Hopkins is...
Oh, fucking hell. Invasion of the cunt.
If the money was tight, he pulled me to the side and be like, big man, I'm gonna take care of your sisters. I'm gonna get them the Barbies and the Barbies' houses they want. I'm coming up short. I'll get you next time. It was like cool, you know, as long as they were happy, I'm cool. So one morning, everybody's out opening presents and I thought I wasn't getting a present and he opens the door, let's go play some ball. Boom, and it was the Dr. J ball. And then a couple weeks after that, keep in mind I'm still a troublemaker, still a juvenile delinquent. A couple weeks after that, he gets some Knicks tickets.
I think we get the point.
Ball. It's a Dr. J ball. And then it's a Dr. J ball.
His stepfather was a great man.
A rose by any other names.
My phone counters and Woodard. Chris, where are you? All right. The Chambliss, his game.
And Isaiah Thomas, ladies and
91. His success 86. Because of Shaq's dominance, injuries in April 2006. 5'1" powerhouse enrolled at the NBA, spectacular 9 points per game, managed his first triple-double, and showed off his specialty by leading the league in field goal percentage. He and new teammate Penny Hardaway led the Magic to their first playoff showing ever, but were swept by the Indiana Pacers. After topping the NBA in scoring during 94-95, O'Neal and the Magic made it to the finals against defending champs the Houston Rockets. Orlando lost in 4 games, and Shaq remained without a title. That saga continued into the next season when the Magic were swept in the Eastern Conference Finals by Michael Jordan and his Chicago Bulls. Shaq then became a free agent amid controversy about his relationship with members of the Magic organization. O'Neal finally signed a massive
His stepfather was a great man. And by the way, if Shaquille O'Neal's father decided to step into LaPortia Washington's life and raise those kids would turn out great. Or what do you think Eric Black Jr.'s dad is up to? What about Eric Black Sr.? What's he doing? How long's he in jail for? Or what about Larry Woodruff? You think he's got a good dad? Doubtful. That is the core of this issue. Why those guys are complete fuck-ups as young men, getting into gangs and smoking the doobies, all that, don't do drugs. It's because they don't have a great father in their life. It's because they don't have a great father in their life and they end up doing stupid shit like this. That's the story. But instead, no, it's Trump. It's Trump's lack of tweeting about it that deserves our focus right now. Are you insane?
DeAndre Hopkins has said he will dedicate this week's playoff check to Jasmine's family while also playing in her honor.
Of course, I have a 5-year-old daughter, man, so, you know, that could have been anybody in that position on this team.
Many more have turned to social media to help identify the monster responsible for this heinous crime.
God damn it, we're only on Sean 9. I can't work on the plane. So, might have to wait till the morning. It's gonna be long as shit, maybe an hour. Let's do this, and we gotta go still shoddy on that.
Oh, the close-up on the heinous crime. Heinous crime. The monster? Oh, this is the monster right here? Oh, yeah. I mean, Jesus. This monster, he's got the dimples, he's got that just 1,000-yard stare. Oh, God. You know, we live among them. You know, this guy, I mean, white people all kind of look alike. You ever notice that? This guy could be anybody. But, yeah, well, Francis, we caught the monsters. I can't wait for your follow-up story where you do an in-depth look at these two young black monsters.
Let's get them in here. Where would they be? Playing some bad music here, gotta be honest. It's nostalgic, but it's like bad nostalgia. It's on loop.
Young black monsters. I wonder if you'll still call them monsters now that you know they're black. I wonder if Francis would ever say, hey, they caught those monsters. Here they are, these two black guys. They're monsters. Blacks. These two blacks, monsters.
This face. This face should be on.
I think I laugh at that. Let me see if Sean 10 is me laughing. That looks like a laugh. Let's see.
Monsters.
This face.
It was
should be
you
on
fucking
the front
loser.
page of every outlet, on every news screen, and every news screen.
It was, you fucking loser.
And yes, every news screen.
It was, you fucking loser.
And yes, on the president's Twitter page until the perpetrator is found.
I might respond to that.
God, Tamir Rice. Oh God, oh.
A 7-year-old girl was gunned down.
Oh, no, no, no. All right.
Gunned down.
Oh God, Tamir Rice. Oh God, oh Lord, she was so young.
In cold blood.
Oh God, Tamir Rice. Oh God. Oh God, Tamir Rice. Oh God, oh Lord, she was so young.
In cold blood. And the person responsible remains unfound. This should be a primary focus for
Francis, it's called a drive-by. It's called gang banging. It's called black gangs in America.
focus for any
How many
and
videos have
every
you done about
outlet. Not
black
only
gangs in
to bring
America?
Jasmine's killer
I guess
to
you don't
justice,
consider it a
but from
problem.
a public
I guess you don't
safety
think Black Lives Matter.
person responsible remains unfound. This
All right, I'm gonna mobilize. Only on Sean 12.
Yeah, Francis, it's called a drive-by. It's called gang banging. It's called black gangs in America. How many videos have you done about black gangs in America? I guess you don't consider it a problem. I guess you don't think Black Lives Matter.
should be a primary